Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to yet another episode of Sour Graps on Tuesdays. Yet another in what must be eons and eons of our inexorable slow crawl toward death. We're just trying to get through life. If life exists on Tuesdays, we have to watch NXT. And I don't want to watch NXT anymore, Kate. It's become a chore, but it's not for you guys because you guys love watching us make fools of ourselves for 2 hours every Tuesday after watching terrible wrestling for 2 hours.
Well, not everybody watches terrible wrestling.
But you guys don't watch the wrestling, which is why you have a good time. We're the ones who watch bad wrestling, which is why I'm depressed.
Oh, no.
Kate?
You know the way to cure that depression?
What's that?
Maybe not cure it.
Yeah.
But a good way to help. For just $1.99 a chat, you too can help us by sending in your super chats, sending in your humper chats at humperchats.com, subscribing to Fightful Select. Some news over there that you can check out behind the paywall. You can catch me and Alex behind the paywall doing pay-per-view post shows. This was not good. This is not a good episode of wrestling television. Outside of Tiffany Epiphany, it's just not good. It's just not good. I struggle with like so many things about the show. I struggle with so many things about the show because the creative is not very good. And several of the wrestlers are very good, but I have no idea what anybody's moving up. Because it doesn't seem like there's any logic to that. I don't know the value of the people that they sent down, what the point of them being there is.
There's no point. There's no point.
It's a mess. It's a mess. I don't know why they changed the logo from the rainbow puke colors because it feels no different, truly. Which is sad because that means like this was definitely Shawn Michaels and not Vince to some extent because nothing's changed, or he was just like autopilot, cruise control because it feels like nothing has changed. A lot of schmozzy finishes, a lot of nonsensical creative, a lot of what feels to me watching feels directionless. Obviously, like I'm not part of any conversations there, right? But like what is Alba Fyre doing here? What is at this point Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes doing here? I don't know why Dijak is really back in NXT instead of on the main roster. I don't know what Jinder Mahal is doing in the title picture here. And I don't know why you sent back Apollo Crews to do the run that he's had without winning the title next. Like he should either win as a transitional champion or be transitioned to, I feel like. And this episode just it felt so. It was chaos, guys. It was chaos.
How about let's think of what are things that would make everybody happy? Puppies and kittens, unicorn,
Sami Zayn
rainbows.
winning.
No, but I'm thinking like for puns. Can we think of like what are
what's
like,
that? What's that?
Happiness puns. Puppies, kittens. I don't know.
Did love, right?
Yeah, but like we
already did that for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we did that.
Just it's not even puns. So just what makes you happy, guys? What makes you happy?
Yeah. Find a way to find a way.
I'm already bringing irony to the show.
Find a way to pun what makes you happy with a wrestler, and I'm fine. Any kind of cute animal puns.
Smile O'Reilly. Look at Henry the Casey already chiming in with a perfect.
There you go. Smile
Tiffany
O'Reilly.
Epiphany, for example. That made me happy.
There you go. There you go. We're good. All right. Okay. So there you go. Smile O'Reilly starts us off. Anything? Okay, here we go. I'm Kyle O. Rio. Anything that makes you happy. If it's cookies, that's good. Makes me happy.
There you go.
So, yeah, anything makes you happy is good. CM Puppy, wonderful. JB Pringle gets us started. And we'll address right off the bat. Unfortunately, whatever makes you happy. But I don't want to leave this one to the end because I want to actually talk about what makes me happy is this family we've created, and why I would never abandon this post as much as I hate NXT. I love all of you guys too much. That we've created this amazing community where people can bring their sorrows and their troubles, and they know they will find a community of like-minded individuals who will support them and give them love. And so JDB Pringle starts us off with this one. Sad to my weird, amazing SGS family. Please talk to your kids about self-harm. My son lost a close friend, only 15 years old, to self-harm. Tell them you love them and you can get through anything together. That's true.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your
thing.
son and for his friends, family, and for you. That's far too common and so sad.
Yeah.
Send JW Pringle love.
Yes, all the time. Paul Elizabeth says, JWP, so sorry to hear. Prayers for his friend. And JW Pringle says, now I'm all crying over here. Y'all are the best. CO says, you can't cry. If you cry, then I get weepy. And if that happens, there's going to be waterworks everywhere. So
water in my eyes.
There you go. Well,
Nailed it.
Mr. Showtime says, holy crap, the bangs are out in force tonight. There you go.
That's what's up.
Much Electrician says, I'm here for the broken Alex angle. Listen, if NXT continues to be this bad on a normal basis, every Tuesday is going to be me just spiraling further and further out of control.
It's true. Into the what was the lake called with the river? The river of dreams. The river of what was
in
that?
The middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep.
I go walking in my sleep. That I have like so many memories since Paul Elizabeth is here. That was like one of the first albums I remember like as a kid. It was that and Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie on a record, which are now cool again. But that was like before they went out of style.
Like a reincarnation.
That's what. See, thank you.
And there was a dilapidated boat, if I remember correctly.
Wait, what are you eating?
Nuts, because I'm extra salty tonight.
Do you need a water to wash the down?
Hold on, no wait. You give me the water, and I will magically transform it into what I'm drinking. Okay, here we go. I'm actually a little thirsty. Can you give me some water?
Are you? Well, yeah. I figured all the salt. Let me just.
Sure.
Here you go.
Oh wait, this is really bad. It's bad. Hold on one more time. I'll do this again. Hold on. All right, here we go.
Wait, yes, Alex, what are you eating?
I'm eating some nuts because they're really salty. These nuts are making me thirsty.
If your nuts are, did you want water? I got a bottle right here.
Okay, that's great.
Here, take it. Oh my God, what happened? That's an entirely different type of drink.
It's true.
See,
it's magic.
Only Sean can do the sponsor reads because he's contracted to. You know the magic you're missing out on by not giving Alex and I sponsors in that way?
I know. It's so great.
We're so good.
I
don't want to talk about NXT. It wasn't very good today.
JW Pringle says, make me laugh, dance monkeys dance. We shall.
JW Pringle said that?
Mm-hmm.
That feels Matthew Plus-ish almost.
Mm-mm. No, I mean, it's all the monkeys in the chat though who were like, throwing out like fun puns and stuff.
Monkeys jumping on the bed.
No more monkeys chatting in the chat.
We already sang River of Dreams for you, and now we're reciting kid crying things.
Yep, there you go. Jambeard says, Kate tonight with her bangs after bangs after bangs after bangs.
Don't follow it up with what they call themselves, because the internet's weird, and I don't need that.
Nope. Hey, Tom LaValle says, bonsoir, mes amis. C'est Mardi Gras, et nous allons les bon temps ce soir. And yes, soir, and he says, and yes, soir autocorrects to sour.
Look,
it's meant
we
to
do
be
impressions. We sing songs. I'm not learning French to keep up with the chat. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to get some translations in there.
Yeah. Mike Strikes Back says, took 3 Bluechew and blacked out. What did I miss? A terrible episode of NXT.
What did we miss? Sounds more like it.
Right. The show started out with Trick Williams wrestling his best match to date.
Yes.
It's not a high bar to clear. He's been outrageously bad in a few matches I've watched of his. So he's made improvements. Good for him. But he was
wrestling Ilja Dragunov, which is the second highest form of cheating next to wrestling Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, Dragunov is going to get him, make him look great.
But
Dragunov,
that's not to take anything away from Trick Williams. I'm glad that he's
improved.
Good, getting better.
Good for him improving. Ilja Dragunov got tossed out of the ring, and then JD Modena showed up. Sans eye patch, and was on commentary for the rest of the match, and that's it. Ilja Dragunov won with the Torpedo Moscow. Trick sold it great,
really well, really well.
There you go. So
it's a cool finisher. To nobody's surprise, Ilja Dragunov.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a cool finisher. I always feel like you gotta make sure you do that just right, or you're definitely concussing both people.
Yeah, but Ilja Dragunov is gonna do it right.
Yeah,
like every time. 60% of the time,
it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Shocky29 says,
Anchorman.
Tuned in to NXT for the Sex Panther. It turned into NXT for the first time in a while and started off hopeful seeing Dragunov on my screen. It was all downhill from there. Oh well, at least Billy Starks and Emi Sakura was a humper everyone should go watch after the Sour Graps NXT variety show over on AEW Dark.
I love that she was back on Dark. Good for Billy Starks.
Yeah.
She's so cool. She was like, Billy Starks tweeted a couple weeks ago, sorry guys, I have to pull back my podcast appearances. I'm like in high school finals right now and also wrestling on Dark and the Indies. So it's like, this girl is, there's so many wrestlers that are like, I just need to take care of myself. She's like, I've got a high school, I got my driver's test probably. I was like, this girl is a teenager crushing it on every front. I love it. I love seeing that. And good on her parents for being like, you still go to school, man. Good stuff.
Orion Ben says, really saw what they see in Trick during this one. Yeah, I mean, I see the potential.
Yeah.
He needs to slow down. Like, I'm not the guy who does like every slow it down. I'm not normally that guy. He does. He gets ahead of himself, particularly in his promos, where I can tell he has a lot of really fun, cool, stuff to say, but he says it in half the amount of time he should. It's like listening to a podcast on 1.5 times speed. Like let's take a time. I know there are periods somewhere in there. When you get to the end of a sentence, stop.
I'd imagine it's like if you only had one take to read all of Aaron Sorkin's writing. Like, it's so quick. Yeah, and I think they're supposed to be, because a lot of, I feel like the interactions with him and Mello have like a rhythmic thing to them, but he continues to do that when there's nobody to play off of, so it doesn't read right, and it's not necessary. You can kind of hit the brakes a little bit, but this was really encouraging to see from him, which was really nice. Great to see Dragunov back on the show. I missed him in the ring. He's just very good. And one thing I feel like an underrated challenge in wrestling in general, and I think it's harder for matches where there's more of a story than this. This wasn't like a storytelling match. Pacing a match action-wise is really hard. I don't mean how you distribute it over however many minutes you're given. I mean to have a match that has really fast portions of it and slower portions of it so you can catch your breath and kind of take beats for storytelling and stuff. I feel like that's somewhere FTR is unbelievable. They do a lot of really things unbelievably well, but I'm trying to think of other really like excellent MJF actually when he's in the ring with a story to tell is fantastic at that. And I feel like Dragunov is too. It didn't show up as much here because there's not a ton to go through, like in an opening 8-minute match or whatever this was. But that's actually a very tricky thing to accomplish, and I would imagine that's something that's hard to work through in developmental when you're in developmental on television. But underrated, hard thing to do in wrestling, I would say. I'm not a wrestler, obviously, but feels that way. Feels that way for sure.
Yep. New Japan and CMLL are hosting the first of 5 joint shows this week tonight at 4 a.m.
That's so cool. There's so much cool stuff happening in wrestling. That's probably why we're extra sad on Tuesdays. Like that's happening. That New Japan card, Mercedes and Kyrie, by the way, unreal. Eddie Kingston and Jay White. Holy crap, partner. There's just so much great wrestling going on in the world. It's so much fun. And then, HBK does this.
Yeah. There was a video package for Jinder where he reminded us of the horrible booking decisions people have made regarding him over the years.
I feel so bad. That was my reaction too.
I blacked out. Apparently, you know how you say like when something is too traumatic that you create a hole in your memory. Jinder won the U.S. title at WrestleMania 34. When? How? How is this possible? I was covering WWE for this website. I do not have a memory of him winning it or any part of his reign. Who did he lose it to? Who did he win it from? Like, I have no memory of it at all.
My toxic trait is I don't remember WrestleManias by number at all. What location was WrestleMania 34?
New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. There's not like not the most memorable WrestleMania in the world in general, but I don't remember his U.S. title reign at all.
Lost it to Jeff Hardy the next night on Raw.
Beautiful.
No notes. Oh my God.
Yeah, nope. No recollection of that whatsoever. So he reminds us he's the U.S. champion. He was for one day, and you and I both didn't remember it. And then the only thing I remember from his world title...
Henry the Casey says, I was at that WrestleMania, and I don't remember it.
No. I don't remember a story with him and Jeff Hardy, so I don't know if he won it from somebody else and then just transitioned it to Jeff Hardy. Like, that's like a Cardona-esque thing, but Cardona had heat and momentum behind him when he lost so fast. So, I don't remember who he won it from at all.
Randy Orton, Luis, is telling me.
That was the world title, wasn't it?
Luis is telling me, and Luis is good at this stuff. He would not troll us, I don't think. Luis is telling me that Randy Orton was the U.S. champion going into WrestleMania 34. And there was a 4-way title match. So it's Randy Orton, who was the champion going in, Jinder, who won it, apparently. And the other 2 guys in the match were Bobby Roode and Rusev Day. That version of Rusev.
Honest to God, remember nothing about that.
Jinder won it and apparently lost it to a returning Jeff Hardy the next night.
I remember Hardy returning shortly after that Mania. I guess it was Raw the next night. I don't remember literally anything about that match. Oh no. This is a fever dream. This is not real.
I don't have any recollection.
Is
of
Luis
this.
Mike blind with us? Is he like making things up?
I Mandela affected this entire thing.
I remember them saying in the video package he won from Randy Orton, but I thought, who did he win the world title from?
No, he won the world title from Randy Orton. That was
That's
after Mania. That was at Backlash or Payback.
Randy dropped the title to Jinder Mahal twice.
Yes, that one was either at Backlash or Payback or Paylash or Backback. I'm not really sure which one of those.
WrestleMania Backlash /
WrestleMania Backback. That's what it was. It was the one between Backlash and Payback. They had Backback.
Randy Orton has dropped 2 titles to Jinder Mahal. The world title and the US title.
He lost the WWE title WrestleMania Backlash, but they didn't call it WrestleMania Backlash at that time. They didn't call it then. It was WrestleMania Backlash.
Here's your pun topic. New pun topic. What was WrestleMania Backlash called before it was WrestleMania?
It was just Backlash.
Oh,
they called it WrestleMania Backlash like 2 years ago. But they have retroactively gone back and they're now referring to every episode of Backlash being WrestleMania Backlash.
What happened?
I don't.
Like what? So Jinder Mahal does a video package where he reminds us he was U.S. title holder for a day and world champion. And he has had no other character traits since returning at all. Right? Okay, great. Like when somebody comes back to NXT, that's at least with Dijak, they're giving him a new start. And Apollo, they tried to give him a new start. This is like, here are the 2 things that I did on the main roster in the decade that I've been there. Give him something. Give him something to seek into other than these guys are my lackeys. Like, let him be a person.
He's also like, the boos are getting louder, Braun Breaker. I'm like, well, yeah, because of the shitty booking. Because they're not giving anybody decent to fight. They've been sitting on Carmelo for a year and haven't done that feud.
Well he was North American title holder for most of that.
I feel like he called himself the A champ, but said, why am I not the only champ? Every time you have a character who's a secondary champion and their character is, I think I'm the best, I always go, no, you don't. If you did, you would come out there and call out the actual #1 champ and challenge them to a match. And the writers have to do something to make sure that's not a giant hole in the plot. That's the way I always feel about things. But
I like that, but I will say they at least made the effort to be like, he said, I made this title the A title, right? Not like it's the A title on the show. He basically said, it doesn't matter what title it is. If I'm holding it, it's the most important title. Now, Braun Breaker, should be like, no, I'm the world champ. That I agree with 100%. But at least Carmelo had like this, it's not the title, it's the me part of it thing going.
Yeah.
This is,
I like this one from Lee Butler. So in conclusion, nobody has given me one solid reason why Jinder couldn't have won the title in Orlando. That is, of course, a reference to the Brian Alvarez tweet about Sami Zayn in Montreal. you thought that was a regular... You thought that was a real thing.
No. I was like in Orlando. It didn't like... Yeah. I was thinking like somewhere... I thought like a main roster title in Orlando. I was trying to think of like what other title shots did Jinder Mahal have a shot at, but that was just literally tonight in Orlando. That's funny. Tyrone
Kidd says, remember when Jinder was in the finals of the original NXT title tournament? I do. You know who doesn't? Apparently, any of the writers for NXT.
No.
That should have been his major reason for being a part of all of this. Him coming out and being like, I was actually in the finals of the first ever NXT title tournament. I lost to Seth Rollins. He was the first ever NXT champion. I never got another shot at that title. It's always bothered me. That's why I'm back here. That makes all the sense in the world, as opposed to like, I'm just here because everyone's booing Bron Breakker, which is a weird thing to care about. Vic Joseph referenced it in the main event, but he didn't. He never talked about it. But Vic Joseph brought it up apparently.
What about his dad? Did his dad ever hold the title?
No, his dad got screwed out of it when he lost.
Well, then I got nothing.
There you go.
What am I supposed to do creatively if your dad didn't get screwed out of it?
If your dad got screwed out of it, yeah, no, it's true.
Oh my gosh, Ellie Cease is back. Hi, baby girl.
No. Blazing Felix says, only thing I remember from WrestleMania 34 was Asuka losing her streak. Let's never skip that.
I'm happy to talk about what's going on with Asuka now, though, because it's delicious.
That is great. Yeah, it's really good. Mr. Showtime says, WrestleMania, let's fix what we screwed up at Mania Backlash. Also, I don't remember this Jinder guy. Who is he again? Yes, I blacked out a lot of that. the Punjabi prison match where the Great Khali had to like basically just he was moving toward the ring in a way that like dust was falling out of his joints. Like he was just trying to get down there, climbed to the second rung, choked out Randy Orton through the Punjabi prison bars. And that's how Jinder won. It
was in that phase of Khali's career where he could not walk, talk, or wrestle. That is true. Honestly, I remember that match. I think Randy Orton had a rematch at one point. I don't remember anything else about the title reign. The only thing that I remember being really positive about it was there was a great article about because they did that as a PR move for India. But there was a really great article about like the representation aspect of it. And then he dropped it like the day after that article came out.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Jambeard says WrestleMania back brace brought to you by WrestleMania back pain.
I'm pretty sure I think Sean followed me because the year I got hired, whatever was after was it just SummerSlam? I was like, it's WrestleMania Backlash. Because it was them undoing everything that was at Backlash that was undoing everything that was at Mania. So if you don't like me, that's blame Sean for that, because that's what
it is a gag I will never stop doing because it pops me personally. WrestleMania Backlash followed by WrestleMania Payback. And then WrestleMania Paylash, and then WrestleMania Backback. Those are. I'll never tire of it. It's something I'm always going to do. It's just something that makes me feel fun.
WrestleMania Backback is fantastic.
Speaking of Jinder, remember Shanky? Jinder doesn't apparently. Remember skyscraping Shanky, who was dancing with Ricochet's fiance
and scraping skies.
Of course, it was just he was the. Yep.
He was a big dude, so Vince was like, let's have him dance.
Yeah, there we go. Jambeer says, it was a PR thing for India, using a Canadian wrestler who never lived in India. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, just whatever American, right?
Backlash back, all right. I always get every one of those Backstreet Boys songs to me it's always larger than life.
They're all written in the same key.
Bow 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 down, bow down down down, bow 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 down, bow down down down. That's I believe that is larger than life. So I think all of those songs sound like that.
Are larger than life? I thought that was Backstreet's Back, what you just did. But they're all the same.
They're all
other than the one that they did on, my God. What was the one that they did on the Andy Samberg show with the police lineup?
I don't
Tell me
know.
why ain't nothing but a heartache.
You could have said what was the one they did where they were all wearing white. But wasn't that all of them?
You remember your Backstreet. I thought you were a 98 Degrees guy. You thought that Nick Lachey was such a cutie pie.
He was. And then he had to go and marry that odious Jessica Simpson. Odious, I say, odious. Sorry.
Michael Grooms knows. I want it that way. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Oh no, that's always going to be "Tell me why." To me,
tell me why.
Yeah, tell me why.
Should we talk about wrestling? I guess.
Double Vest and Henley's backstage. Henley's just keeps calling the Beach. You know, hey, Brooks, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I call me back, would you please? I mean, return a text or anything. I miss you. Bye. And then Briggs is like, I'm staying out of it. Then Fallon says, I don't understand. This is actually this is her lampshading us. This is her being like, I don't understand why Kiana wouldn't just say, yes, I did say I love you to Zach. Zach is my brother. She could have said that at any point during the intervening weeks and didn't. And that's Fallon's point. Now, that's a huge hole in the plot, but because Fallon is calling attention to it, that is them acknowledging it's been a huge hole in the plot, and therefore it's no longer a huge hole in the plot because they pointed it out. That's lampshade.
I actually thought Kiana James was supposed to be like a step ahead in that way.
Right.
So whether that was a hole in the plot by accident or a plan, I think now they try to make it sound like a plan. I'll be honest, I thought this was like one of the more natural backstage interaction.
Well, no, I think the Briggs and Fallon thing was fine. I think the stuff in Kiana.
Yeah, Briggs sounded like a person.
Yeah,
that was like refreshing.
The stuff
that's like of note. That's where we're at. That sounded like they're not exactly. Let's be honest. Like it's not exactly we're not winning Academy Awards here.
No,
but that was actually a very natural interaction. He was like, I don't want any part of this. He got them. Yeah. If he wanted to talk to you, he'd respond to your 10 text messages.
Yeah. Here we go. So this is the problem, Michael. Can a buttoned-up city girl fall in love with a down-on-his-luck hillbilly? This is a freaking Hallmark movie. Well, it would be if Kiana James had any shirts that had buttons on them. It's just, can a girl in a bra and a blazer fall in love with a down-on-his-luck hillbilly?
And the answer is no, because there's not Christmas magic right now. No, you have to do this.
Yep.
It has to be concluding by December 15th so that Santa's magic can be in full effect.
Right. No.
Learn later, a thing.
Fallon decides to go and apologize to Kiana in person. And it's like, she says, why couldn't you have just said, because I wanted you to trust me. But whatever. It's over now. Do you accept my apology? Of course. We're all human. Anyway, I guess we're friends now. Partners. Let's defend our tag championships.
Shouts. Our tag championships. Yeah. Kiana James has also moved into a new office, which looks maybe even more porn setty with the music playing behind Fallon Henley. This looked like it was.
True. Also, a person who has a job that affords them that office makes 20 times the amount an NXT wrestler makes and doesn't need in any way to be an NXT wrestler. That is one of those things they've never fully explained, like why Kiana James decides she must be a wrestler, even though she's an incredibly, I mean, she's not an accountant. She's a real estate lawyer? Something like that?
Like merger and acquisitions, right? Wasn't she just yelling merger words at the screen at
Buy,
one point?
Sell, do both.
Buy, sell, do both. You kind of reminded me of the Bad Money guy. Like,
yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
They attempted to do this. I don't know if it worked, but they at least attempted to do this with Sol Ruka later, where they brought her gimmicky character into a wrestling context.
Mm-hmm.
They never did that with Nikita for like a real long time. They never did that with Kiana James. So hopefully that's a symptom of them realizing like, oh, we should probably explain how this person's a wrestler. But this setting and the music playing and the positioning of the two of them did not look like they were getting away from our delightful porn accountant motif.
Mm-hmm.
You know how porn accountants have no makeup on and wear positivity.
Right. That's true. I saw a Don't Go Breaking My Night Heart. So anybody wants to go with I guess that's not necessarily a boy band song, but anybody wants to do boy band puns, I'm good with all those as well. As many of those things.
We're good with guess all puns today.
Yeah. Henry the Casey says $5 says Kiana will manage Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
The Bang Bros staple.
Yeah, I don't know. G Bro says we watch so you don't have to. 93.1 the Beach FM.
Yeah. 93.1 the Beach FM.
Jamp Beard says this year from Hallmark. Can a porn accountant fall in love with a down on his luck Beej? Find out in Love and Beej in the Backwoods.
Oh no.
I'm
gonna make you watch that one. Forget the flick out of here.
Oh, yep, you surely will. Mako's Dojo was the best thing on the show, I thought.
Yes and no.
Yep.
Pretty well done. I feel like there's like 8 wrestling schools / mentorship angles right now.
Yep.
This was probably one of the better executed ones.
Uh-huh.
But I like the idea of their match being built on respect because they're both going to be faces. Let's be real about that. So I thought this was one of the better, well done ones, I guess. But right. I feel like how many mentorship / wrestling schools are we going to have in this world?
I think to me, this didn't feel like that, although I see your similarities. Taken out of that larger context, to me it felt like Mako Satomura is here in Orlando, the Performance Center. She's gonna run a class with trainees, and because Roxanne is who Roxanne is, she wants to get in on the class with the trainees, even though she's the friggin' NXT champion, because she is still younger than a lot of the trainees. And and also idolizes Mako Satomura because why the hell wouldn't you?
Right.
Mako hesitates when Roxanne decides to join because this is a conflict of interest for our title match. And also it's all of that but she says, sure, you can train. But her thing was, how long can you last doing what I do? Right. And immediately all these girls are falling off. They can't do enough push-ups. They can't do the fireman's carry around the ring a bunch of times. And when she says, all right, 1,000 squats, I just love how 2 girls immediately go, nope, I'm out. They just said before
I would be that girl.
They said, nope.
See ya.
So the at the end, it was Roxanne, 2 trainees, and Mako doing 1,000 squats. One of the trainees got to 320 something. The other one got to 703. Both of them said no. So Roxanne got all the way there. She's the last one left. And she says, okay, thank you. She got to 1,000. And then she starts to leave, says, where are you going? Now the training really begins. And I was like, she's the guy who trained Batman. Like, it's just, we will break you until we can make you. I thought this was actually a lot of fun and showed it didn't feel like I am running a wrestling school. Please come. I will coach wrestling. It was like, I happen to be here. Sure, they have asked me. Matt Bloom asked me to run a session, so I'm doing that. And Roxanne, out of the blue, not intended by Mako at all, shows up. So she reluctantly took on a student and they have a conflict of interest, and I agree with you. I like that it shows a level of respect building. We already saw Roxanne take on Mako and lose.
That was a triple threat, though, right?
No, just one-on-one, and lost.
That's right. It was Mandy, B. Priestley, and
yeah. But leading up to that, I believe it was leading up to that, or maybe right after it, whatever it was Roxanne wanted a shot at Mako, and Mako beat her. But they shook hands afterwards. She raised Roxanne's hand. Roxanne defending against her in her first one-on-one title defense, which is a weird thing to say. It is a major part of Roxanne's story as champion. I think this is a fine way to get to that point. I won't say many other good things about this episode. This is one I might be able to say, yeah, this wasn't terrible.
No, and what I liked about it, and you used the verb that should be the verb we say for all of this, was they showed us, they didn't tell us. This was a lot of, this was actually like well produced and filmed as well. It looked cool. Yep. And they weren't like, hi, I'm Roxanne and I'm here because of this. Like, you completely understood the story they were telling and who these people were without them being so spoon-fed about it. Like, it was just a refreshing take. And there also wasn't you know, I feel like a lot of NXT like things of this format or whatever, it ends up being like Roxanne was out to actually get Mako. Like, you can just be people, which is refreshing. I wasn't like, what are her intentions? But there was definitely like a little hesitation or whatever. Like it was what they were trying to show us was just expressed in what was there and not like so high school theater surface level. It was well done. It was refreshing.
Orion Ben says I died at Where Are You Going? We just started. I thought that was
pretty good.
Really good. Jambeer says Mako should have made them do burpees while using a medicine ball.
Nope.
I'm trying to figure out. Chris Burrow says before 4 horsemen. Before 4 horsemen. Is that a
before horsemen?
No, it says before -4 horsemen. I believe it is a reference to a boy band that I'm unfamiliar with.
Oh. Before 4 horsemen. Put little stars in the chat because I'm blanking on that pun. Which I was in prime boy band era for those. I should know.
Yeah. That is
before 4 a band?
Not in the States, it wasn't. That might be a Canada thing, but it wasn't. They never made it to the States.
Is saying it.
Sorry. No.
We'll have to check them out. Let us know their hits because I don't.
Macho Man Randy Savage Garden.
Oh, very good. I'd like to stand with him on a mountain. Oh yeah.
Dash and Dawson's Creek. That's good.
Joel confirming they're from Toronto.
All right.
Well played.
Cool. Joel was probably in that band.
He is. He played bass in it. You know how boy bands were always playing instruments.
Yep. All of them. Tyler Bate comes out to give a promo and is people
are chanting the full sale crowd.
Yeah. They were either chanting, "We want Goldberg," which was some people were saying that, which would be very incongruous, or "We want Waller," because Bate and Waller had a match. And then people were doing, "No, we don't. We want Waller. No, we don't."
Just based on the principle that Waller is the heel, never mind that I like Tyler Bate better than I like Grayson Waller. Come on, PC crowd, get it together.
Yeah. Mr. Showtime says, "I shudder when I hear Goldberg's back." All right.
Yeah, see, the da-na-na-na-nas were Batman and also that song.
Right. The chant stopped, so maybe somebody got kicked the F out. But this is a little promo. He was cutting about stuff, being positive, talking about, hey, thank you for being so nice to me now that I'm here in the States. And then Tyler Bate was interrupted by the Schism. And when it looked like they were all going to gang up on him, he was saved by Jacy. So if you wanted to know what segment plays over and over and over again in hell, it's this. It's just people are going to, my own personal hell. When I die, I'm going to be strapped to a chair, my eyelids glued open, and they're going to show this Tyler Bate locked in a feud that he's somehow in the middle of between Jacy and the Schism.
I love that you've just accepted you're going to hell, by the way.
I'm
off the top. I've really turned. I don't love it, but I've turned way more favorable on Jacy with Duke Hudson getting spotlighted and it making sense.
And just as you are getting to that point, they're gonna break them up.
100%. I'm fully prepared for that. I felt bad for Tyler Bate because they were chanting "We want Waller," I think, and his whole promo was about being so inspired to be back in the States and getting this reception, and he didn't really pivot on that.
He said from most of you.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I just felt bad because the PC crowd went into into business for themselves, which happens when you have any crowd that's continually going back somewhere weekly. ROH crowds got like that. It happens, but Tyler Bate is fantastic. And boo the heels, people. Get on board. Buy in.
So Tyler Bate, who's one of the, I mean, if you're talking about if you factor age into account, he's one of the top 20 young wrestlers in the entire world.
Sure. I would say he gave Bron Breakker his best match in NXT. His was my favorite.
This dude at 19 was killing it in that friggin' tournament for the first ever NXT UK champion.
Yes.
That match he had against Pete Dunne in 2018 or whatever it was. At Backlash, the Backlash one, the Takeover Chicago. Unreal. It was a Paylash. But also the match he had with Walter,
so great.
He's one of the very best in the world. You finally have him in the United States. You finally have him in NXT stateside. You shuttered NXT UK. NXT Europe is a pipe dream. Who knows when that's ever going to start? You finally have him in the United States, and what are you going to do with him?
You're good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What are you going to do with him? You're going to lock him in a feud with Joe Gacy, who's proved he's absolute poison in these things, and that's not his fault. It's the way you're writing his stupid character and his stupid gimmick and his stupid faction. Because I think Joe Gacy could be really good in anything else, but this is death and has been for a damn year.
Yeah, it's gotten nobody over. It hasn't really done anything for the performers in it. It hasn't really done anything for any of the performers' opponents. Part of that was the handcuffing of just the whole thing was built around this relationship with Gacy and Harland. They released Harland. The title feud was bad and didn't go anywhere because they were kidnapping Rick Steiner. And now it's the Rock's daughter's involved, right? And they kind of had a reset, and I feel like nothing really got capitalized on from it. So it's hard to get behind something or keep an open mind to it when it feels like it's almost like they think the fact that the Rock's daughter in it and that it's weird is enough to sustain them without giving any sort of direction or credibility to anything that they're saying. The Four Roots thing hasn't ever materialized or made sense. So the glimmer that I did like about what Tyler Bate had tonight was the interaction with Carmelo backstage. I thought was really good. Really good.
That was very good.
And it makes me hopeful that Tyler Bate is like, well, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I'm almost, so that was really good, was that he was like, well, you're not on my way to the title. And that makes me feel like Tyler Bate should be like, why aren't I?
The way that Joe Gacy approached him in that thing, there's a long feud they have planned for Joe Gacy trying to corrupt Tyler Bate and bring him into the Schism. That's a thing that they're planning on doing. You can tell. They did that with that promo tonight. That was the beginning of that with Joe Gacy.
Where's Cameron Grimes? Someone just super chatted it, as I was saying.
Yeah.
Remember, Joe Gacy killed Cameron Grimes. Like, I just haven't seen the payoff of being in a Joe Gacy feud at all, or in his own stable.
I would be willing to bet money that it is more likely that Joe Gacy and Tyler Bate will be locked in a Bray Wyatt / Daniel Bryan thing until the fall than it will be that Tyler Bate is the first opponent for Carmelo Hayes. Like, I'm willing to bet that Tyler Bate is going to be the Daniel Bryan to the Wyatt family. That they're going to run that shit back, and that's what NXT is going. They're going to keep Tyler Bate away from the title picture because they don't really want him in it, even though he's the best wrestler they got. Like him and Carmelo Hayes, which they're going to have the match next week. Spoiler alert! I'll tell you right now, for $1, I'll tell it to you for free. Joe Gacy is costing Tyler Bate that match versus Carmelo Hayes next week. So that's a thing that's happening.
Tonight showed that Dragunov will probably be the first defense, would be my guess.
That's what it looks like to me as well.
Yeah, that's my guess as to where that's going. I really hope that it's not that extended with Tyler Bate. And just from the perspective of, this is supposed to be a developmental program. So what? Like, there shouldn't be feuds that are lasting like that long of a stretch that aren't built around full stables. I want to see Tyler Bate versus both of the Grizzled Young Vets all day. But I don't need it to be something that lasts me all day, not all month, not all year.
No.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, Chase U came out to save Tyler Bate from a certain beatdown by
the Roots.
By Schism. Yes, the Roots. Yes.
I'm gonna call them that.
Not those Roots. Definitely not. There was no Questlove is involved in that.
No, unfortunately. Questlove would be an awesome manager.
He'd be great. You've got to get it. But
dream.
What we have instead is Chase U versus the Dyad. They actually let the Dyad pick up a victory, all because Thea Hale has a full-blown PTSD panic attack because Ava, no longer Ava Rain, just Ava. They got rid of the Rain part. She's now
Ava
just
Rock.
Ava. She's just Ava.
I'm calling her Ava Rock.
She's Rocky Maya Ava. And so that's who she is.
Rocky Maya Ava.
That's right. And so we're just we're just gonna get this now for a bit because Duke Hudson took the loss because Andre Chase was checking on his star pupil Thea Hale, who is clutching her megaphone like it's a teddy bear. Because Ava got too close to her and made her lose her mind. At some point, we're going to have to delve into the human resource issue of a coworker kidnapping another coworker and traumatizing her enough that being near them causes a full-blown panic attack.
No,
we're going to have to delve into those issues.
No, we're not.
I mean, we should, because this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and we should have security in the parking lot. It's not happening.
We're not going to have it.
They'll have a numbers game thing, right? You have the two ladies. You have the two heads of the stables, and you have a tag team, and you have Duke Hudson, who would need a buddy, or Duke Hudson's going to be splitting from them, and they'll pair up with another tag team, right? So, it at least makes sense from the perspective of there's a balance there. I also feel like, I don't know, man, Ava is, she's real funny and real a person on Twitter. Like it just feels like a mismatch from what we have seen of her. Like it feels like her juice is not in this weird spookiness. Her juice feels like, I'm not saying it has to be the direction of The Rock. I know I made like the big Dwayne energy joke last week, but like she seems like a person who can talk a lot of S. Like, let her do that. That feels so much better to me. It feels more authentic.
It does,
So,
because I'll tell you what's not authentic. 4 roots, 1 tree. Do you like our happy face masks? We're
Party City.
Like, I mean, it's such bullshit. The schism is death. It's just death to all who enter. It's awful. It's not their fault. It's the faction is written like shit. Like,
but it hasn't gotten them over. It hasn't gotten their opponents over. It's been around for like 18 months, 2 years at least. Right?
And also, like, it's just
what
like,
is it doing?
As you were saying, like, man, I'd love to watch Tyler Bate versus any member of the Grizzled Young Vets, except they're not the Grizzled Young Vets anymore.
No,
now
that's what I mean.
Dyad.
The Grizzled Young Vets.
If they were the Grizzled Young Vets, Tyler Bate picking out like a hand picking, like he was doing a thing before where he was hey, don't I know you from somewhere, to Axiom, because it was Kid A and they had that great match together. If he goes to Axiom and says, would you be my partner in a match against the Dyad, and the Dyad is allowed to be as good as the Grizzled Young Vets were, which they're not, because they have to like play spooky. Like, if it was just that match, it'd be one of the best tag team matches they could put on television.
Of course. And then on the Chase U side, when I'm starting to buy in, we get a great line from Drew Hudson. Honestly, I thought it was so well done. He says, "Are we university or are we in charity?" He just walks away, and I was like, "Damn, that guy's so damn good."
But he is. He's great, and he also was made to look like a complete dick because Thea Hale is having a full blown panic attack. She needs to grow up.
Yes.
And yeah. So yeah, it's yeah.
But I loved that line because we've said, what have we said this whole time of like, what is the university? Like, what are you? Yeah. So him kind of calling that out, I thought was really good. Mm-hmm. Him having wanted to win to make themselves seem credible, I thought was really good. And he's just a very natural talker. He kind of has what previous iterations, definitely not this one, of Edge has, where you're like, that just sounds like a human being that has charisma talking. Like, not a ton more or less than that. So I just really liked Duke Hudson, and I liked what he said here. I thought that was good.
Yeah. All right. Julie Cutler has a good point. NXT has an uncomfortable amount of kidnapping storylines these days.
If you have to watch it every week, I'm just kidnappings, the parking lots, remember with LA Knight, the restraining order for that stuff, but not for like it's a broken legal system, Julie Cutler. You're not wrong about that, but that's one thing I've just had to resign myself to at this point.
Jim Beard says the Ava says, and then Luis says it doesn't matter what the Ava says. Wagner and Stone are arguing about Wagner showing him his true side, and I don't understand where again, what do I always say, Kate? To what end?
To what end?
Where is this going? Where could it possibly be going?
Over there.
Like, just elsewhere? Great.
Over there.
Tony D'Angelo came in and wants a match with Von Wagner because you stole my spot. You know, hey, Dijak came in and grabbed me from behind and pulled me backstage, and my friend over here, the underboss, he had to come and rescue me. We were fighting Dijak, bare knuckles, and with a leather pipe, and also that's not a real thing. But I was going to say lead pipe, but I said leather. We had to fight him backstage for 20 minutes. You should have waited your turn and not accepted the open challenge while I was otherwise engaged. So he's had a problem with Von Wagner and he wants a match. And Mr.
He's gonna get
Stone,
one come Tuesday.
Mr. Stone says, Vaughn, no, come on, no, just say no, Vaughn, no. And Vaughn's like, yeah, I respectfully decline. And then Tony needles him until he says yes. And they have, there you go. So
I did appreciate Tony D'Angelo also talking about, we discussed different ways to make Dijak disappear. That got me good today.
Yeah. But then I decided I'm going to take it in the ring.
Yes.
Anyway. So
Tuesday tonight.
So Gulak and Dempsey are together because Hank Walker doesn't have it in him to torture a man to death, I think is what Gulak said. He's not the kind of guy who's got the stones to.
Well, give him a second. He just got gear 5 minutes ago.
He just got gear, man. Maybe he needs an elbow pad or two. Until you find the perfect gear, you're not actually able to find yourself who you really are. Let him test out different combinations of stuff. Maybe the boots didn't fit.
Maybe if he didn't have gear and was back in his clothes he was always wearing, he would have had it in him to torture him to death. I really wanted him to come into the scene and be like, would you give me a second? Just give me a second.
But it's like, you know who does like torturing men to death? Charlie Dempsey. So therefore, he's my new friend, and we're going to be. So there you go. That's it. I
love this because they basically said, you know who loves torturing people to death? William Regal's kid. But we're not saying William Regal's kid, but William Regal's kid.
Yeah. We had a Sol Ruka vignette where she where she attempted something dangerous on NXT cameras for a while. And I guess we just assume that because she is incredibly athletic, that she can't accidentally horribly injure herself while trying to do a handstand on a skateboard.
Oh, she said, see, I didn't hate this. I didn't love it, but it's an improvement over what most of these are. Because she said, she said, I suck at it first. She was like, whether I'm doing something in the ring or something surfing, she was like, I attempt these crazy things. And she goes, and at first I suck at them and then I get better at them. And that connected dots for me. I liked that.
Yeah.
Why you need to do a handstand on a skateboard, I don't know.
She says, if it's something I see on TikTok, I have to do it myself.
And then
which is one of there you go. Which is one of those things that like what this should be doing is weeding that out of somebody's personality. I may be a character, but like it seems like this is what she's saying is this is who I've always been, which is awesome until you're scheduled to have a push and you break your wrist doing something stupid like trying to do a handstand on a skateboard. I'm just saying that's my own personality that I would think maybe you should take your career seriously enough that you're not doing ridiculously stupid things outside of the purview of getting paid for it.
Weird hearing you say that when you're such a Darby Allin fan.
I know. I just love the guy so much.
You're like, and it's embarrassing to be honest, Alex.
Right,
like
it is.
His burner is Darby Allin fan.
I fanboy out every time he comes on. Oh, I wonder if he's put thumbtacks through his jacket again.
Malachi Black.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, I think Sol Ruka is great, and I actually really love her natural style when she's just talking, and I want to see how that translates to her real promo work. But she's just a very there was the first time I think there was the one last time. The last time she said the first time I tried the Soul Snatcher, man, that sucked. Like it felt like a real person talking.
Yeah.
And
very likable.
She's a likable person.
Yeah.
And
let's find out how they ruined that for us.
Exactly. She says, God willing, maybe one day I could beat Zoe Stark. And I'm like, you should set your goals like a smidge higher. Like, I guess that's like short-term goals as opposed to long-term, but all right.
She saw Zoe Stark lose on TikTok, so now she has to go beat her.
That's right. She's got to do that. I like how Luis says it's the inverse Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect, wasn't he like perfect at everything the first time he tried it? And so
okay.
Ruka has to work at it. I think that's good.
As someone who had to work real hard for their like B+ grades, I appreciate being represented on my television.
Yeah. So Jacy Jayne and Jacy Jayne defeated Indi Hartwell because Gigi attacked her.
Yep. This was dumb. This is a bad idea. It was a bad idea when they did the split. This whole thing's a bad idea.
I mean, we're gonna get Gigi versus Gigi versus Jacy. They might speed it up and do it to us the first time at Roadblock, and then do it immediately afterwards to Stand and Deliver, or they might just wait to Stand and Deliver to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You have no fucking tag teams.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know.
What are we? It feels.
I don't know.
It's the next load of laundry. Oh, a tag team? They're gonna split them up. Like, they were an actual tag team for a really long time and featured heavily and really important. And they were palling around with the champion when she was there. To do what you do with every other tag team. Like, it's just.
Henry T. Casey says, "Wake me up before you gigi." Dolan.
Wake me up before
you gigi.
Hey,
because I'm not planning on going Sealy.
Sometimes people want to wake up and they want to gigi, but they can't. You know what I mean? Not everybody's ready to gigi in the morning.
It's true.
Not everybody is on demand. Sometimes you need a little assistance. All right. Sometimes you need a little help with that performance. And darn it, if Sean Ross Sapp is not here to tell you all about it, I don't know who is.
I hear you. Times are rough. We just got out of a wild situation, a wild year, and people are saying, you know what, it's a hard knock life. But I disagree. Instead, I believe it's a hard cock life when you use Bluechew and the code Fightful, and you get your first shipment free. Free? All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. Bluechew is made with the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work, but they work on your schedule. Full stomach, empty stomach, ready to go, want to get in the mood. Bluechew has you covered. Instead of treated, we get tricked. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. I don't think so. More like somebody's getting dicked when you use Bluechew.com. No awkward conversations with the doctor. Because, I mean, you know, I'm all about not being awkward. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. It's because they work with their online physicians to get the active ingredient you need, and it ships straight to your door. Bluechew.com and the code Fightful gets you your first shipment free. That's how confident they are. Free. Use that promo code Fightful. Hardcock life.
My favorite part about that one is was originally recorded in January of 2021.
We should probably delete it. I did notice it was his old house.
It was his old house. Also, it is when he says, "We just got out of a wild situation, a wild year." He's referring to COVID. He's referring to the year of lockdowns where we weren't allowed to go outside. We hadn't developed a vaccine yet.
Here's what you guys are going to do, though, if you're interested in Bluechew, okay? If you tweet something nice at Sean Ross Sapp, and then you go to Bluechew.com and use the code Fightful, all you're going to have to do is pay $5 shipping. Just tweet something nice at Sean. He doesn't get as many nice tweets as he should. Right. Then go to Bluechew.com and use the code Fightful, $5 shipping. I know it sounds like I added in an extra step, but I just feel like people should be nicer to Sean. So tweet something nice at him.
That's good.
Thank you.
Jam Beard says maybe Hank Walker needs either a star-shaped badge or a propane tank. There you go.
Well done.
Zoe Stark got interviewed. She says, "Why is Meiko Satomura getting this match, not me? That's my match. I deserve it. It should be me." Also, Meiko Satomura, she wants some. Then how about that? How about I take her and I'm the real final boss. So Zoe Stark versus Meiko Satomura at Stand and Deliver. I don't know when.
I'm not gonna be mad about that. That match is gonna rule.
Well, the Roxanne one is at Roadblock in 2 weeks.
Roxanne. I feel bad because
it's next week. Meiko's got to wrestle her next week. Great, fantastic.
I feel bad because when we don't give people silly nicknames and I don't remember their actual names, I feel really bad about that. But interview gal, do you remember her name? The gal is doing these interviews. She was doing a really good job with
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie
Mitchell.
Mackenzie Mitchell. She was doing good work with Big Body Javi. Like her timing was really good. And her reactions here were really good too. She's doing a really good job in this role. And that's like an underrated thing.
She's asking all the hard questions. She's getting her Kayla Braxton on.
I liked when she was like, "Well, why is Meiko Satomura getting the shot?" And she was like, probably because she's a freaking legend around here." Like, I like when they sound like human beings. That's what I always loved about Renee and still love about Renee is she reacts to things like a person. And Mackenzie's getting really, really good with that. Really good with that. And weirdest world of all wrestling worlds.
They have types. WWE has types for their backstage people. The people who are there to ask the frivolous stuff, people who are there to ask the hard questions. And they're training Mackenzie Mitchell to be the hard questions girl. So
she's good.
Yeah.
She's really good. It makes me happy. Then she'll be on commentary like Kevin Patrick was.
So if you I sent something to the group chat, you and Luis.
Oh no.
I said I don't want to watch anymore. That's what I said. And I meant for the rest of the night, but I also meant forever. I don't want to watch NXT anymore. Do you know when that happened?
I can't believe it wasn't after Tyler Bate and Jacy and this kid.
No. That was that was not good. But I was like, I'll get through it. I couldn't get through this. I don't know why I couldn't get through this. It for me it was Gallus walking to the ring and two guys who I thought those guys were the Yes Boys. It turns out they're like the Yes Boys clones, like they were grown in a lab to look like the Yes Boys, bringing out a sheet cake behind them. And I said, I don't want to watch anymore. I don't want this. I don't want any of whatever this is. I don't want it. And it turns out what it was Gallus beating the hell out of Edris Enofe and Malik Blade.
Mm-hmm.
And then
what's wrong with that?
That's fine. Which is just like, it is whatever it is. Like, it's just one of those things of like, it's just a match. You're just doing a thing to do it. It wasn't a title match. It wasn't named like a championship eliminator match or whatever. Like if Malik Blade and Edris Enofe win, they get a title shot. Like it was just a match you threw the champs into to get them on TV, which is good, but for no reason, which is bad. And then the actual reason is so that the Cake Boys can come out in their ridiculous little pink and pastel Mario Brothers uniforms and hold a cake and be like, it's the 2-year anniversary of losing the NXT tag team titles, which is not what it was. The NXT UK tag team titles, but you don't like, they would never write that. They would write the right thing, but these two guys couldn't remember their lines. God bless them. And then they get smushed in the cake. And then the Yes Boys show up and decide to get tough with chairs to the Gallus Boys. And it just, none of it made any, like, this is our tag team division, they say. And I'm like, I guess technically it is, isn't it? Oh, God.
I like the Yes Boys.
But it's never felt like it was their tag team
Correct.
division.
Yeah.
But they're making a statement, and I think that statement is meant to be seen by us as what the company believes. And it just feels like this is not, it feels like the Yes Boys are really, really great at what they do. But the gimmick always feels like it is there for derision, not like good, honest heat. And not like something some people can root for. It's theirs. Boo, we don't like you because you represent the other. Like I've always felt that about the way they are portrayed. It's not their fault. It's the way that the company portrays that kind of whatever. And it always has felt like they're a really good third or fourth tag team in the thing. You could always push them toward the title, but they can drop back down and do fun mid-card stuff. But you know what they are? They are Breezango, but I loved Breezango. But Breezango was never supposed to be the people in charge of the tag division. So, like, you know what I mean? It just always feels...
No, they were too busy solving fashion crimes. They have seemed to kind of get away from the, like, sexuality ambiguity stuff, which that I'm glad about. I do feel like... I just always same deal. I always think of Breezango. It's hard to me sometimes, and this isn't the fault of any of the performers. It's not even really the fault of a company. When there's characters that fall under similar umbrellas, I just start to like kind of auto-populate them in my head. And this to me, right now, nobody's doing this kind of thing better than Dalton Castle. Right. And now nothing lower than that. Like, I can't like get a creative itch. And this almost, it doesn't feel like Dalton Castle. This feels like the King in Hamilton, how he's presented more.
It's so true.
It's way more cartoonish and stuff, but like there's an authentic version that's out there, and that authentic version is Dalton Castle, and it's awesome. He's awesome. He's running around.
Castle is great because
call people naive, silly little gooses, but being Freddie Mercury
in character, right? He can flip a switch that makes you believe he is deadly serious and will fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
I don't see that at all and haven't ever from the Yes Boys. Even tonight with the chair shots, it never felt authentic. It felt like we were asked to come out here and beat up the Gallus with chairs. So
yeah, and this was a weird way to get there. This was also, and I'm not just saying this because I bought into the kayfabe tattoo. I'm not just saying this because of that. Mm-hmm. But this didn't feel like the best showing for Malik and Edris either. Just nothing particularly wrong. Just felt like a weird chemistry thing. That happens from time to time. But I think also not having, to your point, a two-would end to this. This was all superfluous. So matches like that never seem to click in the same way. But this segment very much just happened. And the other thing is I feel like the Yes Boys, characters like this, I think also are supposed to offer a reprieve in something that feels more sports-based or just has more diverse entertainment, when everything is kind of presented with the same silly weight as the Yes Boys are. Right. This doesn't feel like it deviates from anything. Like, I love a character like that.
The Yes Boys,
like Danhausen. Right. If you have a million Danhausens, as much as it sounds great in theory, it doesn't work as a wrestling program. But like him being in ROH or AEW feels like you get like that occasional silly spike where this just
I didn't watch a lot of them in NXT UK, but what I did, like NXT UK, the tag division was full of like, you know, these men's men type of, you know, these big burly dudes, all big and bearded, or you had like Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, these little flippy boys doing all this stuff, and all of a sudden you had these absolute characters, like a gimmick tag team thrown into that. Like it was a spice. It was something new. It was a different taste of something. Everything in NXT 2.0 2.5 is a gimmick. Everything's a gimmick. There's not just a, like, even Gallus, because they're across the pond now, even Gallus feels like a gimmick. Gallus feels like there's like, hey, you're a giant Scotsman, we're gonna beat that. Gotta get us another pint, we'll smash it over your head. Like that feels more like a gimmick because it's here, it's not there. So everything in the tag division is a big gimmick. And so it just doesn't, because they don't feel different.
Only like Dragunov probably right now, and
I'm
trying to think of like people that feel rooted in reality more. But yeah,
right.
That was something I was thinking about today, is like, this doesn't feel like this is a reprieve from the rest of a very serious sports-based product.
Apparently, Luis telling us that Enofe, Edris said he would give $100 to anyone who liked to tweet if he and Malik Blade won the match. And now he has a blacked out profile after the loss with a post over 1,000 likes. Because he's playing into the gimmick, I guess. Maybe.
I guess so.
Who knows?
Pay the piper.
So all of these things we're about to talk about happened within 30 minutes. Luis calls it the 30 minutes of hell. That match, and then the attack by the Cake Boys and the Yes Boys. A Dabba-Kato promo. Stevie Turner talking about Lyra Valkyria.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Stevie Turner and her randomizer.
We are. And then the Von Wanker match with Mr. Stone sitting in that ridiculous suit at ringside.
Terrible.
All within 30 minutes. Dabba-Kato talked about promo about Apollo Crews, saying that it's been 8 months. Like, you left, you came back to NXT and you didn't bring me with you, and now I'm mad at you.
Why would he bring him with him?
I don't know, man, because
what value was added?
Because Commander Aziz was such a huge asset to the operation,
and it just feels misplaced, because they did the right thing and they kind of acknowledged like that was a weird gimmick,
right,
and manufactured time. So to be like, you didn't bring me when you were shedding this gimmick, which is what really happened, which is the thing that's so funny about it, is that his whole thing apparently is you're forgetting where you came from, you're forgetting who got you to where you are, and so are you, as evidenced by the fact that you're going by Dabba-Kato and not by Commander Aziz. Right.
If you were still saying you're Commander Aziz and you're still playing the head of the Nigerian guard or whatever, you can say, Apollo, what are you doing? You've lost sense of your ancestry, of your homeland or whatever. What are you doing? Stop doing that. Come back to where you're supposed to be. But instead, you've gone back to your old gimmick, who I will remind you was squeezing men's nutsacks until they passed out from the pain. That was Dabba-Kato's finishing maneuver in Raw Underground.
He did do that, didn't he? Oh, Raw Underground. What a time to be alive.
So anyway, he says, Apollo, you may have brought me into this world, but I will be the one to take you out of it.
Threats to murder. See, you're all worried about Thea Hale having a panic attack. There's people threatening to murder people on this program. Mm-hmm. That's some Impact gimmick infringement.
So this Stevie Turner thing, is it or is it not?
Stevie Turner.
You go.
You watching?
Yep.
Stevie?
Hold on. Me and Rick the Bottle Bottel will sit here and just listen to your rant. I think we lost Kate. I think we lost Kate. I just wanted to get a really long drink from Rick the Bottle Bottel. It just says right. It says bottle, right? It says bottle. Can you see that? It says bottle. So we decided to name him Rick the Bottle Bottel. Stevie apparently took Kate out. She's no longer with us. Poor Kate. Stevie Turner has hacked us. And that's what we got now. Stevie Turner. I don't know how this is possible. Stevie Turner is the worst thing on this show. I mean, it's not her fault. I don't think. I don't know what the hell is like. Who's writing this for her? I'm doing the Stevie Turner randomizer. Oh look, it landed on Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria, little weird for my type, but all right. Anyway, Lyra Valkyria, she's got a lot of feathers. Oop, sorry, stream's over. There was another super chat coming in from a guy whose handle we made up.
I got all heated and then my computer charger went faulty and died. Listen, Stevie. You got this randomizer? Come on. Mm-hmm. She's been at this for what, 3 weeks? A month, maybe? And she's already got technology better than we've got? She got working internet. She got her fingerless gloves. She got her cool lights. I don't have cool lights. Is Sean gonna let me expense cool lights? Because I'll get cool lights. Now she's got a randomizer. We don't have a randomizer. I can't just randomize someone and be like, Jamie Lambert. I can't do that. I can't be like, Robert D. Felice. Chat. Stevie, I see you. I see that you're trying to outpace us. I'm not going to let it happen, all right? You don't got puns. You don't got a jukebox. You can come in here with your fancy lights and your randomizer. Talk to me when you got my dad in the chat, first of all. And JW Pringle. Talk to me when you got people super chatting at each other and sending in puns. Because you can randomize all you want, but we're gonna punicize to success. Stevie. But I think Lyra Valkyria is great. So I'm excited to see what she has to offer in store.
I hope it's beating the hell out of Stevie Turner.
Well, now I do, but now just for the bit. Like I need to see her get her shit kicked in because
and then also I want all of her streaming equipment smashed, and I want
to smash it
to go away forever.
It's not a gimmick; it's a lifestyle.
No, it's not. It's not good. It's incredibly annoying, and
it's an insult on our art form.
It's not her fault.
Yes, it is because she stole our shit. It has nothing to do with wrestling, really. It's more connected than, say, a backup singer, nunchuck wielding rapper, dancer gal. Mm-hmm. But because they're at least referencing wrestling in it, but like, I guess that means I'm a wrestler, Alex, because I'm talking about wrestling.
Yep.
I get a randomizer. I'm gonna face Lyra Valkyria next week. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm saying her name right. I feel bad.
Lyra Valkyria, I believe is correct.
Lyra Valkyria, right?
Jambeard says the only way to fight Dabakato in Raw Underground is to use Bluechew. That's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because he's been trying to squeeze people's nuts.
Redeem
them, as Eddie would say.
JW Pringle says I wouldn't super chat her with Maddie Minus's equipment.
Thank you, JW Pringle. Mm-hmm. We've got loyalty. Get that, Stevie.
This would be the ultimate betrayal.
No, see,
Jambeard, if we ever see Kate's dad and Stevie's chat, there will be absolute end of Kate.
My dad's not pulling any of this Dusty Rhodes bullshit where he wants Roman Reigns to be his kid. He's not going into Stevie's super chats, all right? My dad loves me. He loves my sister equally.
Paul Elizabeth told me, the last thing he ever told me was that Kate is my favorite daughter.
Oh, I'll take that.
But Stevie is the daughter he always wanted.
Get out of here. Nope. We're not slandering Paul Elizabeth. We're not slandering Paul Elizabeth on the stream, all right? I won't allow it. My dad loves my sister and I equally. He's reassured us many times in our life. He's been subjected to many 14-hour car rides with Disney sing-alongs. Okay? He's not doing that for any NXT superstar. He's only doing that for his blood daughters. Because my dad's better than Dusty Rhodes. Mm-hmm. You're Kate Elizabeth now. After all the waters I've given you on the stream.
It's okay. I've got my own now.
Oh. We could have supersized it. We could have been like,
and
then it comes out and
there you go. It's good.
Bottle.
Actually, no, my Rick the Bottle Bottle took some Bluechew, so he'll be fine.
Well played. I hope he used the code Fightful at checkout. And
he did. Nice of course. What is he? An idiot? Tony D beat Von Wagner, thank God. And Robert Stone at ringside just yelling at Von Wagner, "Show me who the real you is." And I feel like the only place this can go is Von Wagner showing Robert Stone the real him is like something
goofy, really
goofy. And like, I've been pretending to be this big macho guy, but actually I like going to tea parties or something really stupid.
It's gonna be that.
You know what I mean? Like I enjoy. You know what I love? I love sewing my own ring gear. I was just learning when I first started in NXT. That's why my ring gear looked like that. Why it was so terrible. I've gotten better, but I really my real dream is to be a seamstress. Like I believe like that's the only actual thing.
That's what they'll do. It'll be something so off base, and then Robert Stone will probably shed him as a client, would be my guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Is your dog eating your house?
No, she's laying down eating out of her bowl, and it's the funniest thing. I guess I gotta get a higher bowl, but she lays down and eats only sometimes.
Yeah. Well, listen, if I could eat aying down, what a paradise.
Oh, dream.
Yeah.
And face first? Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah. Just put a big plate full of something on the floor, and I just like lay on my stomach and just put my face in the bowl.
Dream.
That's the dream, man.
But she stole, I think I shared on this podcast that she stole a bag of treats the other day and like ate them all. I had a whole other bag of treats and they were on my counter. She got up. I haven't heard her bark, and she's the most well-behaved dog I've ever had. Mm-hmm. Apparently, while I was out, got onto the counter and took an entire full bag of treats. And I came home and she was all panting. I was like, oh no, like she's having a thing with her heartworm. Like, this is terrible, whatever. I go into my office, just a ripped up plastic bag. And I was like, you're panting and you're gassy. You have smelly farts because you ate an entire bag of treats. But now she's back to normal. So that was your Daphne.
I like this from Jam Beard. They're going to give Von Wagner the old Mike Awesome WCW gimmick of being a disco guy who loves big women.
There's enough disco guys. We can cap it. No more discos. Please.
All right. So anyway, Tony D calls out Dijak for Roadblock and gives him, you got 7 days to answer. Don't make me come looking for you. So we're gonna get Tony D versus Dijak at Roadblock, and I don't know what their plans are. Wesley says he's I don't know. Probably not. Wesley says he's going to do another open challenge next week, not at Roadblock, next week. So who knows who comes out to accept that? Roman
Reigns.
That'd be great. I still say that the real timeline here is for Tony D to take the North American Championship, which means he has to beat Dijak, which I don't think they're going to do. So it just makes me, damn it! It's such a good gimmick. This is an entirely gimmick-based show.
And
The Italian American champion is such a great fucking gimmick. It's so good. I want it so bad. It's the one thing.
It would be great. They don't know what's going on with this. His almost blonde Italian right-hand man here in Stacks does not look like they need. I guess they're going with he doesn't need underlings because the whole NXT roster is supposed to be the underlings. Kind of the direction they're going in, and I'm like, I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. Though
he should be going up to every slightly large guy, flashing a wad of cash, and say, "You take out that dude." Like that. That's what he should be doing. But I don't know.
He took Legends producer and put him in a trunk, for goodness sake. So, I feel like they're like leaning more into that relationship, which I don't know if that feels like a title shot type thing, but I do think it would be a logical next step would be for him to have like that level championship is a good next step for him. I just don't know when he gets to take it.
Anyway, he wants Dijak in a jailhouse street fight, which
of course he does.
Shouldn't it just be a jailhouse fight? Because how are you on the street if you're in jail?
Is it a jailhouse rock fight?
Ooh,
that could be fun.
That could be good.
Thinking.
Walking through a party at the county jail. Dividends the began to wail.
Nailed it.
Yep, there you go.
We're so fun.
We are. Luis is hoping for Dragon Lee or Colby Carino to maybe Carl Fredericks could take the challenge, but the problem is going to be Dable Stevenson because everything sucks.
All very possible. Dragon Lee, maybe.
Well, that's what he said. Dragon Lee is the top choice, but Jambeard says it's going to be at Stand and Deliver. It'll be a ladder match. Wes Lee versus Tony D versus Dijak versus Wagner versus somebody else, and that somebody else should be Dragon Lee. No relation to Wes.
Dragon Lee also just fits in there nicely, like stylistically. That could be a really, really fun way to debut.
Yes. Carl Fredericks is now Eddie Thorpe.
It just sounds so. I mean, I think of Jim Thorpe, obviously.
Yeah.
But then, like, Eddie Thorpe just kind of, if not that, sounds like an accountant.
Thorpe.
That's like your neighbor, Eddie Thorpe.
It is so funny
that never works.
The name Thor conjures up the god of lightning. The name Thorpe. All you got to do is put that extra consonant at the end, and it becomes. So Nikita Lyons confirms she's out for a year. She doesn't know who attacked her. Somebody
she'll be out
got her from behind.
3 months tops.
She was clipped from behind. Yeah, she'll be out for a year. So that means at least,
her 2.0s were on display again.
Oh my goodness.
They were.
And then Tiffany Stratton, why are we even talking to you?
What happens, Alex?
She says, I had a Tiffany epiphany.
I had a Tiffany epiphany.
And that's forever.
I love her so much.
That's forever. It's never going to go away.
Get rid of the Grayson Waller effect. Tiffany epiphanies all day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She's really good. She really found a way to make that character work. Like, silly phrase aside, she is she basically came in and said, why is anybody still talking about you? You're not going to be here for a year. They should be talking about the center of the world. Me, I like a narcissist who knows she's narcissistic. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
But she had her Tiffany epiphany, and I really wanted to rename the stream Tiffany Epiphany, but I did it because I'm a professional, kind of. Oh yeah, you can super chat. What does Eddie Thorpe's? What's his real job?
Yeah, do that because Eddie Thorpe sells used cars and discount carpets and rugs out of the back of a used car.
Eddie Thorpe works the 12 to 4 shift at your local classic rock radio station for sure.
I love this also from Michael Grooms. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte will happen. It'll be like good Kirk versus evil Kirk on Star Trek.
Paul Elizabeth, big Trekkie.
Yeah. Tiffany Stratton says you should go away for a year and nobody will remember you.
Nikita's coming back a face in 4 months.
Nikita's coming back a face. Tiffany Stratton will be the champion at that time when Nikki Cross. Wow, no, Nikki Lyons. Cool. Yeah, Nikita Lyons comes back, and then they'll be the first. That'll be her return feud. So there you go. Hey, so Trick Williams getting dapped up by Mello. And like, hey, you put the fight to him. Good for you. Yes, I tried very hard. I did indeed, says Trick Williams. Next time, I think I've got him. I've scouted all of his moves. I think I shall be the victor the next time we tussle. He doesn't say those things, but he basically...
That is verbatim.
That's what he means when he says it.
Verbatim recounting.
So then Tyler Bate comes in and wants to say, hey, great job. I mean, I know how tough Ilja Dragunov is. And he says something like, there will always be peaks and valleys in your career. And the tree grows stronger when it is tested by the wind or something. The stronger the storm,
we need 4 roots.
The stronger the roots or something like that, right? And then Trick Williams, and the best thing he's ever said, he says, man, that's some Dr. Seuss shit. That's some really good stuff. And he's like, it's like you're 75 and 25 at the same time. And Mello basically says respect, but I hope you're not coming after the title because that's my territory. So we're getting Mello versus Tyler Bate next week, which will be ruined by Joe Gacy coming in and costing Tyler Bate the match because we can never have anything good.
No, we cannot have nice things. Back to you.
Yep. There you go. So Isla Dawn, not invisible this week. I was
totally visible.
I was informed that during the scene last week where she appeared to be invisible, that she was not actually invisible, that she was speaking out of the speaker on the left of this photo. Where there's a water bottle and a towel sitting on it. That's a speaker. I didn't know that was a speaker. Apparently that's a speaker. And thank you everybody for pointing this out to me because that totally saves the segment. 100% no notes. Kudos to everybody who thought that was a good idea. Somehow her being invisible would make more sense.
When you're listening to a speaker, you just stare down at it.
Why is she on a loudspeaker? Did she take control of the PA system so she could talk? Can she see them through a camera?
It doesn't even look. Are there wire? Is it a wireless speaker? There's no light on the speaker.
I don't know at all what any of this is, but I was admonished because obviously she's speaking through the speaker, and I was like, oh yeah, because that makes it better.
Yeah, Ivy and Potato Paxley over there are just whether they're visible or a speaker, real bad.
Anyway, Ryan Bed 666 says, anyway, we can make Mello and Bate for the title because I'd love that.
That would rule. I think we'll get there.
Alba Fyre had a match versus Ivy Nile. Tatum Paxley wasn't going to go out with Ivy Nile because she's worried that all of the things that Isla Dawn has said will come true.
Some friend.
And before she leaves the Diamond Mine dojo, she looks up at the flag of the Diamond Mine, and she, I'm gonna go to the ring.
Pressure makes diamonds, idiot. Get out there with your friend.
Alba Fyre defeated Ivy Nile.
Handily.
Isla Dawn got on the apron to distract the referee intentionally. She said, I want to distract the referee so that my friend Alba Fyre can find a way to win the match illegally. But Alba Fyre doesn't do anything illegal. She doesn't. She runs Ivy Nile's head into Tatum Paxley's head. How is that possible, you would ask? Wouldn't Tatum Paxley have to be on the other ring apron? Why would she be there? I mean, I assume she's a human being capable of rational thought. Why would she be there on the other ring apron? There's nothing she can do there. No way to help her friend. Like when this happens, they always say that they're trying to tell the ref not to pay attention to that distraction. Pay attention to my distraction.
Right.
And that's dumb as hell and always has been. And in this case, maybe Isla Dawn made her do it with her magical witchy powers, because Isla Dawn walks to the ring doing this with her hand all the time.
Some signal that your spooky powers are in effect, I feel like. And it's
Maybe she's
more
doing
than
that. Anyway.
Not good.
No. But this is going to lead to the Diamond Mine breaking up.
Well, we had a women's tag team in it, so of course.
Yeah.
We have to break up the women's tag team.
We're saying that Isla Dawn, Luis is saying Isla Dawn controlled her giant speaker narrative. So it's good.
She was in the ranch room, which is connected famously to a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all the ranching's done.
Mm-hmm. Ricardo El Comerciante de Pepsi says, make it so, number one in a billion.
I like it. I don't know where Roderick Strong is.
Yeah.
I should ask Jonathan. Maybe we can get an update on Select. On Fightful Select, where you can subscribe for just $5 for all the latest and greatest breaking news. And you can also leave a thumbs up on this video for free.
It's been since October 11th since we've seen Roderick Strong. He was in a wheelchair at the time in the hospital, recovering from being run over by Damon Kemp, who has been dealt with and moved on from his feud with the Creed brothers months ago. His last match was in September against Apollo.
We do know he requested his release. We do know it was not granted.
Mm-hmm.
That was the old regime.
Mm-hmm.
We've also not seen who else. Cameron Grimes. We have not seen. Ciampa's injured, but he moved up. Just weird.
Yeah.
We also know that Roderick Strong wears pink socks when he wrestles, thanks to the CM Punk Live Journal that still exists.
Mm-hmm. Bron Breakker beat Jinder Mahal, thank God.
Mahal.
Jinder is just as bad as he ever was, and just as good as he ever was. He is who he is.
He's as medium as he's ever been.
Yep, that's about it. Bron had to sell for all of Jinder's mid offense, and then he won with a Goldberg spear, by which I mean he just put his shoulder down and stepped one step forward as Jinder walked toward him, and that was enough to pin the former world champion
and U.S. title holder for a day. The chat also mentioned that we haven't seen Saray in forever, which is a good point too. I miss her. This was not good. It wasn't good. Jinder Mahal just got back to NXT and hasn't really had any reps on television in a very, very long time. So I don't want to be kind of too harsh, but it was not a good match. Like, it was very disconnected. Bron he looked like he was selling a normal amount, but because the offense wasn't there from Jinder, it looked like he was selling like HBK or Dolph Ziggler. This was not a good main event. Not a good main event. Which is unfortunate because I always want title matches to be good. And even though Jinder Mahal's never been my favorite wrestler, I watch for things to be good, and I want him to do well anytime somebody gets rebooted, save Lacey Evans because all she ever does is get rebooted. Like I want that fresh start to lead to good things, and this did not feel like it was going in that direction. This was not a good match, and Bron it felt like did his best with it. He's been wrestling for like 2.5 years. So he's not going to be, he's getting better about leading in matches. I feel like being a leading dance partner, but he's not at a place where he can make someone else.
Well, the heel usually calls the match anyway. Like it's just
right.
Like, like it's, he's in there against a guy who was never good. At best, Jinder has been passable. Like, it is a fun thing that you can say that, like, he used to be a WWE champion, and most people remember that as one of the biggest missteps of a push in the history of your company.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing, man. Like,
it was just a bad match. Like, it just didn't click in.
Yep.
I don't there's a lot of work to be done if that's gonna work, but it did not tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah. Meet Norma says the Linder is greater than the Jinder.
Well, in Jinder's defense, I mean, the Linder's a damn legend. So
Meet Norma says, I've been Sansa blind since 2.0 started. Is any of this real? It is. Happy Fat Tuesday to the Linder and the Sheeler, my Knights of Meat Castle, and Julie Cutler.
Banned? Blocked?
I just don't understand how, like, the ice is so thin that you are skating on, Meet Normus. Like, Linda does not... She doesn't
F around.
No.
She's not here. After 8 husbands, you think she's here to play games? She's not. She's just not.
No.
But every day is Fat Tuesday when you live by the deli. Oh my god.
Oh, it's true.
The pastrami.
The pastrami. Grayson Waller is back.
Shawn Michaels comes out of retirement for this guy.
I swear to God. So
today felt less like that to me, to be honest.
Bron shows up. Bron is there, and then he looks up at the Raven's Nest, which is where Carmelo is up there, like, basically like, hey, I've got the next. And then they do the Tubi Super Bowl commercial idea where, like, like somebody sat on the remote, but it's the Peacock app. But he scrolls over to Stand and Deliver, which is not on the app yet because that's not for 2 more months.
Correct.
Grayson Waller is in the control room and says, HBK, you're not going to stand in my way. Stand and Deliver is my show. So how about in 2 weeks, you and I have a discussion at Roadblock?
Ooh, a discussion.
Nerd block. Wow. Roadblock. Nerd Guru says, bet anything HBK gets Johnny to wrestle Grayson Waller. Johnny Gargano comes back for one night. Only if Johnny wins. I'm not at all interested in Grayson Waller beating Johnny Gargano.
I mean, he's not doing anything anyway.
I mean, yeah.
He's like hanging around with the murderer as he does.
Right. Yeah.
Probably. I like that better than HBK coming out of retirement, to be honest.
Oh, Jesus.
This feels more like Grayson Waller's like taking over NXT more than it does. Tonight, it, to me, read less like... Last week, I was like, is he coming out of retirement for this guy? This week, I felt like it was more like he's taking over the program kind of angle. Gargano coming back is actually a pretty good shout. I would take it.
I would not mind it in the least at that point. No. Hold on.
Especially if you won.
Yes. Oh, it's the
You
only
okay?
way I would. I have to. Sorry. I have a little thing over here in the little little tub of lozenges, and I'm going to need that at this point if I'm going to read the rest of these pun chats. So I have a little lozenge, a little. Oh, there you go. Very nice.
A little keep the
All
pipe
right.
smooth, keep them clean.
All right. Michael Grooms said, I just wanted to send a thank you to you both for all the times you made me smile with your insanity. That's all we do.
Thank you.
Yep.
The show ain't doing it. So
Lord Kev says, here's my cash. Show me sexy Minoru.
all day, every day. Look at this man. Okay. Look at that. The cheekbones. The
Lord Kev says,
jawline.
show me sexy Minoru. You're welcome, Kate. Seeing you both smile and laugh makes me happy, so please do that.
Oh, you guys are the best. Look at
Love
this.
you, SGS.
Look at this John Stamos hair
Oh my god.
with this facial structure.
Mm-mm.
And he was ripped, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
from like the shoulders down. What a man. What a man. What a mighty man.
Jane Beard says Kate is a new NWA Women's Tag Champion.
I could be. They already switched it from the Renegade Twins to, in a very NXT move, somebody cashed in their, their Survivor, or not Survivors, their Championship Series shot to be a tag team to win the tag titles. Felt very reversal of the Dusty Cup situation.
Gina K says, got to start my day with a Raw review on my way to work. Ending my day on my way home with your faces.
So sorry.
Didn't watch either show. Just love you both. Heading to bed. We'll listen tomorrow. Kalex all day, every day.
You're the best. I did not watch Raw either because I was at a work event. And it was a 2-day work thing. We do like a day where we work on the business and then like a team bonding thing. I got to go snow tubing today.
Wow. Fun.
It was so fun. I felt like a kid.
Wizard of Smoke says, Kalex makes me happy.
Kalex makes me happy. So do all of you people. Yep. So thank you.
Mr. Showtime says, Alex fantasy booking makes me so happy, you guys. Oh, thank you, Mr. Showtime.
Me too. He's the best at it.
Nicholas Starhart says, no puns. Just wanted to say these reviews are the highlight of my Tuesdays.
You guys are just being so nice.
I had to miss most of my own charity event this weekend because I caught the flu. And I need some well wishes as I try to heal in time for a jiu-jitsu tournament on March 4th. My God.
I'm Isla donning you well wishes.
There you go.
I think we were so sad at the beginning of the show that people were just sending in nice messages to us because Alex said he wanted to quit.
It says. Ricardo El Kermasante de Pepsi says, double pun. Dick Grayson Waller.
Well played.
Yeah. Tom Lavelli says 1004 holds, many of which are arm bars. I don't know what this is reference to, but it's great. This old
Ronda Rousey?
Yes. Marshall Sherlock says Darby. Oh my God, how is he not dead, Alan? Yes, that is a reference to the Solruka thing. Oh, here's some puns. Here we go. Henry the Casey says the laughs of us.
Aw, I like that one. A show I'll never watch from a game I'll never play.
Honestly, most of the episodes have no zombies in them. So, Ricardo El Kermasiante de Pepsi says sometimes a smile is just baring teeth. Nice.
It's like that emoji that's like, yeah. It's true.
Tyrone Kid says smiling Brian Pillman. Mike Strikes Back says Joy White.
Oh, babyface Jay White.
Jam Peard says smile on a pole match. Orion Ben says undisputed pups led by Adam Corgi. Woof woof. Henry the Casey
Adam
says the
Corgi, baby.
Henry the Casey says the Ponder Boss. Bad luck, fall, lol. Fall all.
Oh, Henry the Casey.
Luis Villarreal says serotonin in my soul, puppins, kittens, and rainbows.
That's very nice.
That's good.
They got 3 categories.
Mr. Showtime says the puppy dog, Jesse James. CO says, Happy Corbin. No, you're not doing it right. Things that bring us joy, not things that make us sad. Zebedee Pringle says the Hardy Har Har Boys. CO says Brownie Breakaker. Food makes me happy. Food makes me happy too.
Yeah.
JD Pringle says Big Squee. Henry the Casey says Jinder her Mahal.
Oh, because Bron Breakaker. I think Jinder her.
No, it's Jinder her in question marks. Quotation marks. Her? Isn't that like a meme?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Tom LaValle says, buy all the frozen concentrated orange juice. I believe that was from my Kiana James bit.
Ah, well played.
Right. Ricardo El Comerciante de Pepsi. A Clockwork Orange Cassidy. Sure.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else here? Hold up. Oh, wait. Oh, Backstreet Buns. There we go. Backstreet Boys funds. I will not tolerate Backstreet Boys slander in this chat.
Who was
right,
being
Kim.
slanderous?
Nope.
I mean, NSYNC was better, but...
Jambeard says, Sheila, you should know, Linder lived those back streets back in the 90s. The 1890s.
So I know it. Oh my God. It's all I ever heard about.
CO says, tell me Jay White.
Tell me
White. Jay White.
Ain't nothing but a switchblade.
Very good. Orion Ben 666 says NWO on the block.
Very
New
nice.
Kids. New color. Chris Pereira says, color me bad fodder. Jay Pringle says Rolling Thundercats. Luis Villarreal says NWO Town. That's very good.
Ooh.
Scotty. Tom Valley says Scotty Together. Roxy Fruvius. I don't know what that Roxy. It's like got an umlaut over it. Roxy Fruvius. I don't know what that is. This is good. Ricardo El Comerciante de Pepsi says Han Solo Sokoa, Io Skywalker, Jessica Alba Fyre. I guess those are things that make him happy.
I like that, though. An overlap with the previous category, we'll still allow it.
Sure.
It's the wild card round.
Mm-hmm. Robert Lyle says WrestleMania Baby got backlash with musical guest Sir Mix-a-Lot. All right. Matthew Plus says, just got home. Glad you're here to put me to sleep. Well, there you go. Thank you for giving us money.
Hey, if NXT didn't do it.
Mr. Showtime says NXT needs more scripts.
Of course. Everything does. Everyone does.
Henry the Casey says, unrelated, I know, but Tony Khan will only take Rampage seriously if Ariel Helwani mucks its ratings.
They were in the 7 o'clock slot. You can't compare. Their ratings stink anyway, but like you can't compare a one-off instance with it. I just hate that Keith Lee came back in that spot and nobody watched it. That sucks.
Should have put those things on Dynamite. Always put those big reveals, big returns on the live show. All right. Jukebox. We got some jukeboxes. Oh, wait. Ricardo Comerciante de Pepsi says, hustler, loyalty, respect. Are you talking about the magazine? Does Hustler, does that make you happy? This makes me sad. Luis pointing out that Saray has not been in NXT since August 2nd.
Oh.
She lost to Mandy Rose very quickly in that match. I don't know if she's hurt or what the hell's going on with her. Okay. Orion Ben asked you to do the Tiffany Epiphany promo, but I don't like.
I don't know
think
what
you have.
she.
Just say I have. You already did that.
I had a Tiffany Epiphany.
Mm-hmm. Good. There you go.
That's all I got.
Okay. So Regal sings "Careless Whisper" to Excalibur. You have a bunch in here, so click in there. Make sure you know what you're looking at. Regal sings "Careless Whisper" to Excalibur. Here we go. Hold on. I need Rick the Bottle Bottle. Here we go. Time can never mend the careless whispers of a good friend. To the heart and mind, ignorance is kind. There's no comfort in the truth. Pain is all you'll find. Should have known better. I feel so unsure as I take your hand, and I lead you to the dance floor. The music dies, something in your eyes calls to mind a silver screen and all its sad goodbyes. I'm never going to dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm, sunshine. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. Ooh. You should have known better than to cheat a friend and waste a chance that I've been given. So I'm never going to dance again the way I danced with you. Oh, man in the mask. My scrummy, ooh, ooh, ooh. It feels like literally a lifetime ago that was a thing that was happening on television.
It does.
All right. Hold on. Wow. Finn Balor sings Die Die My Darling by the Misfits. My goodness. That was really
well played. Guys, if you can leave a thumbs up on this video and also like super mega last call. We're already at 2 hours, so
yeah, here we go. Die, 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 my darling. Don't utter a single word. Die, 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 my darling. Just shut your pretty eyes. I'll be seeing you again. I'll be seeing you in hell. Don't cry to me now, baby. Your future's in an oblong box, yeah. Don't cry to me now, baby. Should have seen it coming on. Don't cry to me now, baby. Had to know it was in your palm. Don't cry to me now, baby. Dead end zone for a dead end girl. You're a bad father. Okay. And here we go. So, oh my God, like Louise is typing out the transcript of tonight's promo where I will be playing Nikita Alliance when we actually gets the whole thing typed out.
Oh
so first
God.
now we want Tiffany Stratton to do the Hard Times promo.
Because the Hard Times daddy.
Yeah.
Very well done. Mm-hmm. First of all, I would like to thank the many, many fans throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, while I was down. Secondly, I want to thank Jim Crockett Promotions for waiting and taking the time, because I know how important it was. Starcade 85, which I was definitely alive for, it is to the wrestling fans, it is to Jim Crockett Promotions and Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. With that wait, I got what I wanted. Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a whole lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There's no honor amongst thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. His kid is Cody Rhodes. Don't know if you know that. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of food. They got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them to go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job for 30 years, and they give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard times. That's hard times. And Ric Flair, you put hard times on this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard times. And we all had hard times together with Bluechew code Fightful. And I admit, I don't like the athlete of the day is supposed to look like. My belly's just a little big. My high knee's a little big. But brother, I'm bad. I know I'm bad. Thank you. I'm not
very good.
It.
That's good. No, you shouldn't. That's good. That's very, very good. Ricardo wants Regal reading a part of Where the Wild Things Are. Oh my God. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind or another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up," so he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until the ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around, and an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day, and out of weeks, child, and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws, till Max said, "Be still," and then Max hit me in the back of the head with a pair of brass knuckles, and I died.
But you left a video
I did.
in memoriam, which was
It was weird. I did it. I recorded it before I died. It's kind of how it works.
It's nice.
Okay. Wait. Here we go. So, Papa Pawlowski to sing "I Am My Own Grandpa" by Ray Stevens. I am my own grandpa. Many years ago, when I was 17, I was married to a widow who was pretty as could be. The widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. My father fell in love with her, and soon they too were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law. It changed my very life, for my daughter was my mother, though she was my father's wife. To complicate the matter, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. This little baby then became a brother-in-law to Dad, and so became my uncle, though it made me very sad. It was my uncle. Then it also made him brother to the widow's grown-up daughter, who, of course, was my stepmother. I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but really it is so. And I'm my own grandpa. Father's wife then had a son who kept them on the run, and because he became my grandchild, because he was my daughter's son. My wife is now my mother's mother, and it makes me blue because although she is my wife, it is my grandmother too. And if my wife is my grandmother, I'm her grandchild, and every time I think of it, it nearly drives me wild, for now I have become the strangest case you ever saw. As husband to my grandmother, I am my own grandpa. What?
This is our fault. HBK tunes in and is like, what are the kids up to? What are they hip to? What do wrestling fans like these days? And he tunes in now, and he's like, we need to do more of that.
Yep. There we go. Okay, should we do this? Wait, Jesse Ozog says, to commiserate, there's nothing in this world that can make me joy. Life is as tedious as a twice-told tale, vexing the dull ear of a drowsy man, and bitter shame hath spoiled the world's sweet taste, that it yields naught but shame and bitterness. That's from King John. That
is, of course, from The Devil Wears Prada.
Yep, there you go.
That's going to be my new thing with Jesse Ozog. That is from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Jambeard wants Tiffany Stratton to sing the Mississippi Squirrel Revival by Ray Stevens.
Oh, Lord. Get out of here, ads. Thank you. Well, when I was a kid, I'd take a trip every summer down to Mississippi to visit my granny in her antebellum world. I'd run barefooted all day, climbing trees, free as a song. One day, I happened to catch myself a squirrel. I stuffed him down in an old shoebox, punched a couple holes in the top, and when Sunday came, I snuck him into church. I was sitting way back in the very last pew, showing him a good Buddy Hugh, when the squirrel got loose and went totally berserk. Well, what happened next is hard to tell. Some thought it was heaven and others thought it was hell. But the fact is that something was among us was plain to see. As the choir sang I Surrender All, the squirrel ran up Harv Newland's coveralls. Harv leaped to his feet and said, "Something's got a hold on me, yow!" This is very weird. The day the squirrel went berserk in the first self-righteous church, in the sleepy town of Piscagula. It was a fight for survival that broke out in a revival. They were jumping pews, shouting hallelujah. Toodles.
Very good.
Real
Jambeard says this one is dedicated to Joel. Linder to sing "Get Down" by B44.
I will clip this for Joel.
Okay, hold on a second. A popular Canadian boy band pop song from the heyday of the genre. Okay, here we go. I will be the one to love and comfort from now until the day I die. I will take you places that you only think about when you're asleep at night. Let me take the time to understand and I will set your spirit free. If you get down on me, I'll get down on you. I will do anything that you want me to. It's a game of give and take to make it through. So if you get down on me, I'll get down on you tonight.
Well,
I think he's talking about oral sex.
I think he is. I feel like that's almost the theme song of the Linder.
I think so. When nighttime turns to day again and you are on my mind, winter turns to spring and then life has passed you by. But now we are so young and free, but warning at a time. So while we've got each other here, let's treat our bodies right. I want to know exactly what to do so that you'll never get me off your mind. Well, hello.
Oh, you know what this is about? Working out.
Yeah, communicate and I'll go undercover. Oh, he's a policeman. Gonna make you come tonight over to my house.
Over the, yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
So if you get down on me, I'll get down on you. I will do anything that you want me to. It's a game of give and take to make it through. So if you get down on me, I'll get down on you tonight. Now it says right here.
You're boogieing down.
It says here. Hold on. It says about. Get Down is infamous for its lyrics, believed to refer to oral sex. Well, I don't know where they're getting that from.
I have no idea. To get down means to dance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's undercover. He's a policeman.
Orion Ben 666 wants Jane Beard says, Linder, you saucy minx you.
Oh, she is. You are.
Orion Ben 666 says Paw sings I Still Remember by Block Party. Oh, I get it because he can't remember things. Let's get it. So here we go. Here we go. I still remember how you looked that afternoon. There was only you. You said it's like a full moon. Blood beats faster in our veins. We left our trousers by the canal and our fingers, they almost touched. You should have asked me for it. I would have been brave. You should have asked me for it. How could I say no? And our love could have soared over playgrounds and rooftops. Every park bench screams your name. I kept your tie. I'd have gone wherever you wanted. I still remember. And on that teacher's training day, we wrote our names on every train. Laughed at the people off to work, so monochrome and so lukewarm, and I can see our days are becoming night. I can feel your heartbeat across the grass. We should have run. I would go anywhere with you. I would have kissed you by the water. What? Scripts. Well, I mean, like, I don't even know if he's even watching. Like,
you can't do a Scripps impression. Like, no, it's too difficult to impersonate.
Yeah, no, if Scripps, if you're there,
can we summon him?
There are people. I don't know if he's watching. If he is, I'm sure he'll just hack in. Scripts, the people have requests for you. So if you're Ricardo wants Scripts to sing "Die My Bride" from the Murder Dolls.
Can you say Ricardo's name again?
Ricardo.
I like that. You got some zip to you.
There you go. He said, well, I'd rather you cut you than the wedding cake and your bloody guts on my rented tux, McMahon. And I do want to kill you till death do us part. I'll tear you apart. Now I can kiss your cold, dead lips, Monsoon. And I'll dip my chips in the blood that drips, and I'll smear the cake right in your face. Let your God take you to a better place. Well, I loved you to death. Die, 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 my bride. That's very uplifting. Thank you very much, Ricardo. T-Electric Mayhem says, if he calls in, jukebox for Script singing Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus. don't forget to put the lotion in the basket, McMahon.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a reference to something, but I'm not really sure. I've never been lubed up by Vince McMahon, not since the 80s anyway.
I think
Here
you
we
just
go.
like at hotels, you got to put lotions in like little, guest baskets.
I see. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
He told me I've seen it rise, but it always falls. I've seen them come, I've seen them go. He said all things pass into the night, and I said, oh no, sir, I must say you're wrong. I must disagree. Oh no, sir. I must say you're wrong. Whoa, won't you listen to me? He told me I've seen it all before. I've been there. I've seen my hopes and dreams lying on the ground. I've seen the sky just begin to fall. He said all things pass into the night, and I said, oh no, sir. I must say you're wrong. I must disagree. Oh no, sir. I must say you're wrong. Won't you listen to me? Goodbye, horses. I'm flying over you. Goodbye, horses. I'm flying over you. Goodbye, horses. I'm flying over you. Goodbye, horses. Flying over you. I'm not sure what that's all about there. But
Sounds complicated. I do know the beginning of it said, you've seen things rise and fall and come and go. And if you would rather see things rise than fall, you can, of course, go to bluechew.com, code Fightful.
I see. All right.
So
Well, I'm not really
it's
sure
a promo,
all about
sponsored content.
one of them ads there.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was one of them conspiracy theories.
It might be. It might all be. Aren't ads just conspiracy theories, really?
I mean, it's one of them conspiracy theories like Chernobyl or Cheryl Knob. That Cheryl.
She's up to something, that Cheryl. I'll tell you
she
what.
She would be. Anyway, what? All right, I gotta go now. All right.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay. We have the transcript here for the Tiffany Epiphany promo.
My God.
So it'll be. I'll do Nikita.
Okay.
And then you can do Tiffany. So here we go. We'll start with her first. Your first line there. All right.
Why is anyone talking about you? This is a TV time when it could be dedicated to the center of the universe.
You sound real sus.
Me sus? Oh, please. I have more to do with my life. Attacking you in the parking lot ranks at the bottom. Actually, maybe below the bottom. Plus, if it were me, you won't be out for a year. You would be out. I just had a Tiffany Epiphany. What if you banished from NXT for a full year? Toodles!
Very nice.
Thank you.
And toodles to all of you.
Toodles, and also with you.
Toodles, and also toodles to all of you at home. Yeah. I don't know what to say other than keep cool, gobble ghouls. Yeah.